And across our country, we are witnessing a blatant assault on teachers. Teacher bashing has become the new norm in newspapers, in radio, in television. We have become the scapegoat. Are there parallels between what is happening in Wisconsin to teachers and what is happening in New Bedford to teachers?
Yeah!
In my opinion, there are. In Wisconsin, the governor is blaming teachers for the economic crisis and wants to strip them of their collective bargaining rights.
Woo!
In New Bedford, a group called the Education Roundtable has organized to use public opinion to pressure the school committee and the mayor to strip our teachers of their collective bargaining rights.
Woo!
You have read their letters in the local paper, and you've heard them on the radio. These self-appointed educational experts, most of whom did not send their children to New Bedford Public Schools.
Yep!
Most of them, you've never seen them in your schools. Most of them never go to school committee meetings. But they're calling for reforms in our contract. These reforms include eliminating our seniority,
Woo!
eliminating professional status, adding merit pay,
Woo!
changing the teacher evaluation. This is the same evaluation that was developed based on Department of Education guidelines. They want to create the illusion that New Bedford Public Schools is failing, that teachers are at fault, that the contract is an impediment to education. They call our teachers lemons. I am not a lemon, and neither are the teachers that are here today.
Rally! Rally! Yeah!
If you question anything they say, you are labeled, quote, an obstructionist. If you question anything they say, you are labeled, quote, a killer of innovation. If you question anything they say, you are accused of, quote, obsolete thinking. If you question anything they say, you are accused of, quote, perpetuating mediocrity.
Yeah!
Brothers and sisters, everyone is entitled to an opinion. However, when we tell them that many of our children live in poverty, they tell us we're making excuses. When we tell them that the percentage of low-income students rose from 59.6% in 1999 to 69.5% 10 years later, we're making excuses. When we tell them that we've had a 40% increase in ESL students in the last 10 years, they tell us we're making excuses. When we tell them that we've had a 25% increase in special needs population, we're making excuses. When we tell them never mention the teachers union or poor teaching practices, that has not stopped that group from using it as a launch pad to attack the teachers of New Bedford Public Schools.
Woo!
How can they ignore that we have over 225 children in our schools that are homeless? How can they ignore that fact? Doesn't that have an impact on education?
Exactly.
How can they ignore the fact that these are district-wide issues which teachers cannot control?
Yeah, Lou!
These are issues that go beyond the district to the community, to families, and to family services. The round table claims that the teachers blame the victims, the kids and the parents. That is absolutely not true. That is a lie. We're not casting blame on anyone. However, we are all stakeholders and we all need to do our part. The mayor, the school committee, the superintendent, principals, parents, and the community must support teachers in order for us to be successful in teaching our students.
Thank you, Lou! We are one!
We are one! We are one! We are one! We are one! Teachers must teach, and parents must make certain their children are in school every day and on time.
Yeah, Lou!
As teachers, we will instruct, we will guide, and we will support our students. And students have to be held accountable for their actions too.
Thank you.
Students must come to school to learn. I want to tell you something. New Bedford Public Schools does not discriminate against any child. New Bedford Public Schools proudly accepts, and I emphasize the word proudly accepts every student, regardless of his or her needs or circumstances. We are proud of that. Other schools in New Bedford choose their students. If a student in a private school or the charter school is disruptive and doesn't follow their rules and regulations, do you know what they do? They throw them out. You know where those children go?
To our school.
That's awesome. And then they say, we're failing. We're not failing. We work damn hard.
Damn
We
straight.
educate all of our students. They toss them out. Why are these facts ignored? Perhaps this group, the Education Roundtable, is not interested in